Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I'm on the test server here. I want to show you a team now that can deal with Sand Devil going right the way through different levels, which is not just like Godseeker, okay? And that's what we've had for forever, honestly. Saf's done some like sneaky work looking at the stats in the back of house, right? And this is the same for all of the kind of like changed dungeons. It's significantly different. Right, so if I was to look at, let's just take level 1, for example. Hopefully you guys can see this. So the HP, this is post-nerf. Let me show you pre-nerf. So pre-nerf, we had 245 speed, 9.5k defense, massive number, high attack, high HP. Post-nerf, basically the defense number has been ripped to shreds. Yeah, the other stuff's kind of stayed the same. Speed's the same. HP's a lot less. Attack is still the same. We're still taking the same amount of damage, but we can now actually hit with normal champions. And one thing you need to be aware of with the Sand Devil, we do have a full guide on the website, which is updated now with all of the changes and stuff. It's actually a super good guide because you can say, give me a level. What level am I on? And then you can kind of see how the strat changes based on the level. This is some great work. I think this one might have been done by Nubs, this one. It was either Nubs or Saf that wrote this one up. But really good work. And yeah, tons of info here. So I can link that down below. Actually, while I'm talking website stuff, just quickly, we do have the Euro footballs, the Euro football competition coming in this Sunday. And we're actually doing a bit of a giveaway on the website for winners in our community. So I'm going to be involved in this. A bunch of the HH Gaming crew are as well, for fun. And if you want to be involved as well, I'll link this down below. Basically, you need to put yourself in a team. There's a section here which kind of like talks about the prizes, which is basically merch for both Fateless and HH Gaming. And then there's a bit of a kind of like, if you don't really know football, and by football, I mean the thing you kick with your foot, then there's some like top tips and stuff down the bottom here as well. But anyway, I'll link that down below. Let's get back to where we were. So yeah, the stats are massively reduced now. We've got like a 2.2k defense at level 1, and then if you go all the way up to level 25, it's still only 3.6k defense, and if we compare that to what it used to be, 14.2k. So basically what used to happen was you used to have to bring enemy match HP champs to do any sort of work because the defense was so damn high. They've actually reduced the defense to a point now where other champions can start to do some work. It's still, you've still got the damage reduction in the Sand Devil of, if you don't put debuffs out, you can't really hit. So you actually remove like 15% of the damage reduction per debuff that's out there, and it caps at 7. So if you get 7 debuffs on the boss, basically you can go in and do normal damage, which means that you still got to hit him for 3 million points worth of damage. But I've been testing this team out, and I've got to say, it feels super cool, actually. It feels really achievable now to start climbing up the ranks. And the hardest thing I always found when I was doing guides on the Sand Devil was, apart from the one I did yonks ago where you had to change your build every 5 minutes to make it work, I couldn't make it work. I literally couldn't get from stage 1 to stage 25 without having to like change my build 10 times and go through this massive spreadsheet of, if you've got this, do this, if not, do this. And it wasn't really that useful for players, I would say. I would say it was the only way I could think of doing it, and I didn't see anyone doing it better on the whole of the YouTubes. But yeah, it wasn't that useful. So what I thought I'd do is I'd make use of Adeline here. Now, Adeline, who is the freebie we just recently got, she's got the ability to send stuff to sleep. You notice all I've done here is made sure that she's got books to get to 100% sleep chance on her A3. After that, stopped booking. No need for more books, right? She's coming in basically to turn the Sand Devil into a sleeper. You just need accuracy enough to get the sleep off, and you need enough speed to get there. And don't forget, if we look at the stats of the Sand Devil now, he's got 270 speed at stage 25. So you bear that in mind for your final build. And in terms of his resistance, it's been reduced as well. So his resistance now is 470. It means you need basically 500 accuracy to be able to get the job done in your builds. So what we've done here, I'm not taking on stage 25. I want to show you how to get there, but I've got around that sort of accuracy number. I've got about 260 odd speed. Basically, I want a champion that can get me from stage 1 to 25, you know, without too much problem. She's got War Master as a mastery. I've got Brimstone on as a blessing because it gives me another debuff to land, which is cool. And I got her to 5-star, but that's not a like essential thing. I'm then using Lydia to go in next. She's in a shield set, not for any reason whatsoever, other than that's what she was wearing when I made this video. She's got less speed than Adeline. Don't forget Adeline's sending the Sand Devil to sleep. You do want for Lydia to go, though, before the Sand Devil takes a turn and wakes up, because you want to get her debuffs out. So we're getting the drop defense and weaken. Specifically, weaken is important with Lydia. So she is a little bit slower than Adeline. I've then got Mordecai, who turned out to be God mode when paired with Rathalos, which we knew anyway. But yeah, Mordecai in the team. Again, at this level, we're going slower than Adeline, but faster than your DPS by quite some. Enough accuracy to land his stuff. Probably I'm on the edge because I've been doing stage 20. I'm a little bit on the edge. You might just throw an accuracy chest on him, but don't forget it's literally just in there to get the debuff away. I do need to be faster than the Sand Devil though, so let me just quickly make sure we do that in the right set. It's freaking close. I don't want to be. 262, 263. Okay, blessed. Yeah, so but Adeline, don't forget, also does give us an accuracy in all battles aura, so we can use that if you're a little bit short in terms of accuracy. I'm then bringing in 2 DPSs. So far we've got 3 debuffs coming in from Adeline, 2 debuffs coming in from Lydia, 1 debuff from Mordecai. I'm not quite capped on damage reduction, but I'm pretty close. I've got increased attack from Mordecai to get my damage up. Then we're going to bring in Whisper. I've got Crushing Rend. It's actually not even that great because she's only 3-star. It's not doing a lot. It's doing a tiny amount of extra work. But I've got her in pretty slow build, 179, in a damage build, but not a crazy one. I think you might say it is. I don't think it is. Like 220 odd crit damage, crit capped. Probably could push higher damage if I wanted to. Masteries, we've got Helm Smasher on to try and ignore as much defense as we can. And yeah, she's going to be coming in, obviously, with the Whisper Slams. And then I've got Rathalos. Now, Rathalos is kind of insane for this now because his A2 was already great for this, but his A3 now does work as well. So Rathalos is going to come in and smack with the A3 and give us that crit damage boost. And then he's going to come in and do his A2, which is an absolute cannon. So again, the Soul Reap here doesn't matter. For some reason, I've got no gems on the test server, so I can't change any of my blessings around to get something else that matters. But honestly, I do some stuff's tricky. Like he's +3 for me because I did a video on him ages ago and I can't undo that. So I do get extra stats for that. So you need to bear that in mind. Maybe I can just get some worse gear on someone. I'm just trying to crit cap him as well quickly. Let's just change this out. Really want to lose too much speed if I can help it. Let's take that one. Okay, so I'm just trying to dampen him a bit, but he's in pretty decent gear, right? So we do want him to hit. Now, I've been doing some test running on stage 20 and some cool stuff to bear in mind here. So obviously Rathalos can do a weak hit. He's the weak link for affinity stuff, but cannot do a weak hit, cannot do a weak hit, cannot do a weak hit, cannot do a weak hit. So Rathalos is the only one that might be problematic for changing affinities as you level. But what's quite cool here, let's just slow this down. We get debuffs from Adeline, debuff from Mordecai, drop defense and weaken out there. He's woken up, but that's fine because the debuffs are already out. She then does 2 hits, bam, bam, decent amount of damage. Rathalos, oh, she's going to still go again for fun because she got the chance. Rathalos then does his A3. We cycle back round. Mordecai gives us a bit of a speed up. You notice how slow my DPS champs were. And then Rathalos says, say goodnight. And we could have had more attacks there from Whisper as well. That's stage 20. There's no way, not a chance, I could have shown you this build, this team for stage 20 2 weeks ago. Zero chance that would have worked, okay? And obviously, I guess our problems could be Adeline doesn't land asleep. Yeah. So let me just check this a minute because I'm saying, yeah, she places asleep and then, so I'm pretty sure she's affinity friendly, right? Let me just make that clear. Let me just make sure of that. What's her bad matchup? This is her bad matchup. It's also Rathalos's bad matchup, stage 19. So this could be a problem for us. So it is a hit. Maybe she doesn't, maybe she's not 100% chance on placing that, actually. I might be wrong. So you might be better off still using a Muck Stalker than using her, but the same team rules apply. So Rathalos can weak hit like this. This is now our worst case run. And it might be that on like rubbish affinities like this, you just have to have a couple of runs at it. Because it might be like here, we're going to wipe pretty much. He is taking a nap though. We might somehow get away with it. But yeah, it might be on poor affinity when you're just trying to get past a stage that you kind of need to run it a couple of times and get through those weak hits from Rathalos. Or you just change your DPS in this fight and Rathalos takes a back step. But I think he is good because he just does such a high level of damage. Especially with the A2 where he's ignoring defense of the boss as well. So just pop, yeah. So it might be that on negative affinity levels, you either change out Rathalos or you need to do something else. But that's going all the way up to stage 20. So I guess stage 20, I mean, let's just see. Stage 22, we come back to being the strong affinity. I'm just wondering where my kind of like damage threshold really kicks in. And I'm in trouble. And obviously his speed ramps up as well because I've got these two DPS really slow. Like super slow. Whisper's not built crazy. Well, actually the Soul Reap comes in big there. So look, I think that's going to wrap things up. Hopefully it gives people some inspiration of some other teams now that can be made in a similar way. You know, we're going to start seeing Turvold coming into the mix. Little Miss Annie starting to come into mix. Some of those ones that do a lot of damage in single target hits, suddenly they're going to be an option for this dungeon because of those changes. So interested to see what the community come up with. If you find any really cool teams for this dungeon or different ways to fight these new kind of like bosses since nerf, drop me a DM. Happy to showcase teams as long as they're not like hyper Kraken teams because no one loves that. Or maybe show me the odd hyper Kraken one. That's fun too. Anyway, I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you soon.